Hey, it's CraneAfter. Real quick rundown of the show. Started out reviewing the president's press conference, filibuster. That's what it could have been called. If it were a movie, it'd be called filibuster. It is really frustrating to see a president sit there and answer the first question with a monologue and making falsely characterizing people who disagree with him with straw man arguments. But here's the deal. I'll just give you the rundown of the show because it was wonderful. It was wonderful for many reasons, including your phone calls. The top of the show started out with the NSA, and we talked to Chris Woodward. Chris Woodward is a reporter over at American Family News, and he does a great job. And I asked him about the questions he would ask. You got to check out the segment. I'll post it later, but you can go to afa.net/nothing-but-truth to get the review of the show. But it was a very interesting perspective, and he's very observant. Check it out. I started out with the NSA. I don't believe the NSA is truly a scandal. I know our guest, Seton Motley, disagrees with me on that. And Seton, we're going to be having another debate, and most likely featuring Ryan Morrow and Seton having that debate. But bottom line, I think it is some place where the president can actually get some support from Republicans, and as well as people like Mark Thiessen and others defending the program of NSA. And his desire is to conflate the NSA program, okay, with all the other scandals. And once we go through the process of review of the NSA program and find out, no, well, they're not reading our emails, or they're not doing what Edward Snowden says they're doing, then, and maybe it is an opportunity for more oversight, but nonetheless, the point of it not being a scandal versus the IRS, which is a scandal, Benghazi, which is a scandal, DOJ, investigation of James Rosen, a scandal, Fast and Furious, scandal. And if he can do that, he can say, see, the NSA wasn't a big deal. We want checks, and we didn't want the program to come out. And the way it came out was troubling. He doesn't ever explain why it was troubling. It's troubling because we don't trust the president. And that's because of the IRS, Fast and Furious, Benghazi. So that's why. And so if you look at a strategy in there and say, NSA, boom, not a scandal. People will learn more about it. Oh, we have our accusations, but we have people like Mike Rogers saying, we're not reading your emails. And I believe Mike Rogers, chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. So that's, I think, the strategy. And he put a great deal of focus on that, and some questions were there too. Interestingly enough, no question about the IRS. The question about the sealed indictment regarding Benghazi, and he's rewriting history when it comes to the characterization of Al-Qaeda and what he said about Al-Qaeda being decimated. Okay? But he's trying to change that, and that's what the president has done in the past, and he'll continue to attempt to do that. Bottom line, a lot more in that press conference we're going to be reviewing. We talked about healthcare and what he said. You can check out the post next to this video on Facebook and find out of Exhibit A of false characterization. And we have a lot of those. Obamacare, as he defends it, you see the line of defense is going to really just acknowledge the failures and the greater context. And you can do that especially when you have a press corps that's carrying the water for you. It's not brilliance. It doesn't really take a Rip and Einstein. You can get by with not telling the truth if the people that are supposed to hold you to account are either unwilling or unable to, because they can't get an interview with you where they can ask follow-up questions. So that's what we're looking for, Mr. President. Sit down with your critics. Do you have courage? The courage of your convictions? Sit down with Brett Baird. Sit down with Crane Durham. Sit down with people, Chris Wallace. Heavens. And answer the questions. and say, you know what, I believe in what I'm doing. I believe in these programs. I believe in the legislative agenda I passed. I know 14% U6 unemployment, 7.4% unemployment now, but the same people in the labor force, it would be about 9 to 10%, and that's allowing for the same amount of people in 2008 with the people retiring. So it's not a false read or not an inflated number. Inflated number would probably be 11%. I'll say 9 to 10% true if the same amount of people are participating in the labor force. Bottom line, the president has a record. It is a failure. He is not being held to account because what he does is he filibusters and then says things that are not true about the people who are pointing out that his record doesn't work. So, hey, you may agree, disagree, but bottom line, wouldn't you agree that if the president really did have the courage of his convictions, that he would go and defend them to people that are criticizing him, rather than investigate those networks, or what he tried to do in the first 2 years and shut them down? All right. I got a lot more to say, but we're going to have to save it for next week. We've got great guests coming on. We will have Pete Sepp. We'll have Colonel Kakulu, who came on tonight. Wonderful. He'll be a weekly feature, as well as Ben Johnson breaking exclusive news tonight on the show. Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth. Ben Johnson, LifeSite News, in a wonderful story, in the sense that it's wonderful that he went and got background on abortion freedom rides and who funds them. And you're going to have to read it. I'll post it up on the Facebook. Thank you so much. Love the angel comments as well as the story itself. And it is amazing story. It's a great story. Hey, tell me your headline of the week and what you're looking forward to doing this weekend. I, of course, am looking forward to spending time with my best half and the kids, and also eating a really big pizza. Okay, that's enough. Crane Durham, it's Friday. I need a rest. And you all have earned one. Thanks so much. Take care. Oh, live with honor in your life, compassion in your heart. Always keep the faith. Remember, God knows you. God created you. He loves you. Right where you're at. And you're worth it. Don't ever forget that. We'll see you.